All right, hi, this is Henk, and welcome to another edition of the Skill Sessions. And today, my guest is Mark J. Wilson, who tells me to include the J because there are lots of Marks out there.
Hello, hi Dan, good to meet you.
Hey,
Thanks
what's
for
up?
having me.
So, all right, so let's talk about what you got going on.
So yeah, I'm about to release my debut novel. It's a novel called Full of Beans. It's about a time traveling detective.
Okay.
I've got a proof copy here.
Oh, nice.
You can see that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's really exciting. It's my first book.
Okay. And what were you trying to do with it? Like, what's the general premise?
So it's a fiction novel about a time traveling private detective. I think my idea for the book really was just to try and write something that I would like to find on the bookshelf. I'm a big fan of time travel. I love Back to the Future, couple of my favorite movies.
Or like Looper? Did you see Looper?
Yeah, 12 Monkeys. There's all sorts of time
12
travel
Monkeys is
stuff out
awesome.
there.
I love 12 Monkeys. Yeah.
And I just love the idea of all the complexities and the paradoxes, and it's just such a fun source of fiction. But I also love the idea of a detective novel. I was into the Tintin cartoons when I was a kid, and one of my favorite books is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency by Douglas Adams.
Anything by that guy is awesome. Yeah. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it just seemed like a really nice idea to try and combine a private detective with time travel. And then somehow I just had the idea of how he time travels. I didn't want to have a time machine. I think that's been kind of done, with the TARDIS and the DeLorean and whatnot. So Phil time travels.
That's the H.G. Wells one. I thought that was the incarnation.
Yeah, exactly. So the detective is called Phil Beans, and he time travels using Polaroid photos. So he has a camera that's magic in some way. I'm not sure quite how yet, but he uses the photographs he takes to travel back to a time and place where he took the photo.
Does he know how? Does he have the idea of why the camera works the way it does?
He does not understand how the camera works. No,
it just does.
He just discovered that it does, and he just makes use of it.
As a side note, do you think time travel is actually real?
I think we know that you can travel forwards in time.
Right.
If you're an astronaut and you travel really fast, then you come back from the space station a few milliseconds in the future, but nobody notices that. Right. But I don't really believe it's possible to travel backwards in time.
Right.
At least there's no reason to suppose that's actually real.
In the fictional reality, does the detective travel backwards in time?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So he can't travel forwards in time because obviously he uses the Polaroids, and the Polaroids are only things that he's previously taken. But he can go back to his own time with a picture from whenever it was he left. Does
he disrupt the progression of the past by going backwards in time?
Yes. So because he's a detective, the idea is that he will go back in time to get clues and find things out. But of course, it being a mystery novel, he goes back in time and he messes with things and he upsets the space-time continuum, and he gets back to his own time and finds things have changed. So then, of course, he's in a real pickle with cause and effect.
Would you say it's more of like a sci-fi novel? Is it more of a detective novel?
The sci-fi element is the time travel. It's kind of a murder mystery, and it's a little bit of a romance. I
feel like people just kind of throw the sci-fi and everything. Like everyone tells me, like Frankenstein is sci-fi. I'm like, no, it's not. It's like, oh, well, it has like something abnormal, and scientific. I'm like, that could be almost anything. Yeah,
so I wouldn't say sci-fi is a big element. It's kind of the bit of the hook in the novel, I guess, in a way, because the whole story is the time travel element is fundamental to the whole story, but it's not really a sci-fi universe. It's just very ordinary. It's set in Oxford in England.
It's kind of a detective novel with this like quirk.
Yeah. So it's more of a murder mystery than it is a sci-fi fantasy kind of thing. So yeah, it's just that time travel is really the element of sci-fi in it.
Okay, how do you approach it? Is it like first person? Is it third person? Is it past tense? First
person, and it's kind of very close. Generally speaking, it's close because we're kind of inside Phil's head most of the time, so we know what he's thinking. But it is kind of past tense, third person.
Okay. So past tense as in like everything already happened? Because if it's very close to his head, but is it like he's kind of inserting that something that's just occurred?
Yeah. So in a way, because the novel is fixed in time, there are dates for each chapter. For the start of each chapter, there's a time and date. And then the novel starts in 2023, so it kind of already happened, yeah.
Okay. So, like, he goes back in time to see the individual elements, but that's like something he stumbled on. It's like, how is the progression? Like, is he just a detective and he finds this new feature that allows him to travel back in time to investigate the matter further?
No, he discovered he could time travel when he was 16.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was after his career in physics ended that he decided that actually he could use his time travel ability to go back in time and figure out what happened in crimes, or generally go back in time to sort of make a living out, being able to sort things out in the past.
Does he work for the police force? Is this something he does himself?
He does. He has a friend in the police force who asks him favors. Because she knows he's good, so she asks him to help out sometimes. And
okay.
Yep.
And he helps discover the real secret behind everything that way.
What she asks for help is the death of his old professor. She thinks it might be a murder, and she wants him to go and find out. See what he knows. She doesn't know he can time travel, but she wants him to help see if he can help figure out what happened, because she thinks he's got connections and whatever. So she asks for his help, and so he decides to go back in time and kind of prevents the murder from happening at all.
Okay.
And that just throws his whole world into
well, I guess if he prevents murder from happening at all, it really interferes with
it messes up his world, yeah, completely. Yeah.
So, all right, do you have this? You said this is your first novel. Do you have this planned just like a series?
Yeah, I've got a planned series. I mean, it's going to be at least a trilogy, I think. But yeah, we'll see how many more ideas I come up with.
You already thinking of it kind of along the lines of like Columbo or Murphy Road, which like episode after episode, or do you have like one thing that's all gonna like kind of like all the elements are gonna come together?
There are going to be elements, I think, that carry over from book to book, but I don't want too much of that to mean that you have to read the first one before you read the second one. I think that's always a difficult thing for a reader. If they want to, just buy the latest one and read that, you don't necessarily want to have to go back and start from the beginning. So I'm going to try and make each story stand alone in a way.
Well, I remember like a lot of the stuff that like not currently, because currently everybody wants a giant story and all that stuff. But I remember like everything from like the Fall Guy to Columbo to like Perry Mason to whatever. They would all be like each one is an individual story. So if you're planning a trilogy, would they all be individual stories, and maybe the trilogy would just give you like a little bit more of a comprehensive view?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, each one would be its own story, but there'd be threads maybe that you would be able to follow all the way through. A little bit like, say, at the end of the third book, we might figure out how his time travel works. Something like that might be a thread all the way through.
So a little bit of further development, but it's like like really each novel has a key story, but there might be like little developments in the overall scheme.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Okay. And why do you say 3? Like, do you have like an arc that's going to be completed after 3?
I'm thinking 3 because that's how many ideas for stories I've got right now. Trilogy just kind of works well, a lot of things are trilogies.
Lord of the Rings,
Back to the Future and all that.
Yeah.
Trilogy just kind of seems like it's a proper series, and you just never know. There might be more ideas that come to me. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. How long is each book?
This first book is 360 pages.
Okay. And were you gonna kind of keep that, scheme going on? Is it gonna be like each one's roughly 300
I would
pages?
Expect so, yeah. I don't plan on writing an Lord of the Rings episode or what is it in the Harry Potter books? The
I know Netflix might come up and offer you a lot of money, and then what do you do?
Yeah, no, I'm not planning an enormous tome for the third in the trilogy. No,
well, I don't know that anybody was. I don't know that George R. R. Martin was, and then now he's rich.
Yeah, you never know. It depends how complicated the third book gets, I guess.
So, is there any other kind of like a different element, like magical, or like a heavy? I guess like. I don't know if you call it like heavy sci-fi invention or something that makes it out of the ordinary, other than that one Polaroid that allows you, or Polaroid camera that allows you to travel backwards in time.
No, that's really the sci-fi element. The rest of it is very grounded in reality.
Okay, how does he assemble the camera? Does he have the camera? Does it?
Yeah, it's an old Polaroid camera it's one of the ones from the 1970s that kind of folds flat. So yeah, he doesn't mess with it because he doesn't want to break it.
So was it just left to him? Like, did he pick it up on the store?
His mum gave it to him second hand. She gave it to him on his 13th birthday, I think.
And she's completely unaware of his special properties?
Completely unaware, yeah. Nobody else has any idea.
Okay, well, no spoiler alerts, but how does he discover?
He just
is that a spoiler?
Go back in time when his mom dies and he misses her so badly, and he finds one of the old Polaroids, and he just wishes and wishes that he could go back and tell her she was ill.
And then suddenly he
discovers it.
Yeah.
But you don't get to find that out till way late in the book.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Hopefully that wasn't a spoiler. Or not
doesn't spoil too much of the plot, no.
Yeah. Okay. So he's solving murder mysteries. Are they kind of like standard murder mysteries? Is there some fantastical element, like kind of like X-Files, or just their murders?
No, it's just plain ordinary serial killer kind of stuff, yeah. I mean, in the book, it's not like Criminal Minds or anything. It's nothing too gruesome, but it does get a little bit dark.
Okay. And so the I guess villains, the antagonists, or whatever, they're just basically like fucked up people, like Ted Bundy or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the bad guy is pretty messed up, and there's different elements to it because he is, he finds a motive for the murder.
Okay.
But he wishes he had enjoyed it more. So he wants to try again. But yeah, that's something that you don't find out.
What does he wish he enjoyed more?
The actual murder. Rather than just doing it for a reason, he finds that he would have quite liked to enjoy it more. So
he finds out that the villain would have enjoyed it more.
Sorry, say again?
So he finds out the villain psychology, like how they would have enjoyed the murder more?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the villain finds out that he quite enjoyed what he did and he wants to try again. So yeah.
Okay.
But of course you don't find all that out in the right order because of course it involves time travel. So you it gets complicated. And,
It's kind of that, like, once you break the boundary, like, then they just, the evil people just become really evil.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Well, now they're like, broken into this, I may as well, like, take it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
How gory and how gruesome do you go with this?
It doesn't get particularly gruesome. I'd say it's probably PG-13. It's
Okay.
PG-13 because of the language anyway. But I don't think the murders. It's nothing like Criminal Minds. There's no. I was quite deliberate, I think, in making. There's no blood involved really. It's not too gory.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's
and you're saying there's not like heavy language?
There's a little bit. Well, the trouble with it is, I think the Brits tend to swear a lot more than Americans. We tend to use.
I'm from New York. We swear all the fucking time. Like it's like every other word. And I notice when I like go somewhere, and I'll just be talking the way I normally talk, and of course the swear words are there. And people are looking at me like they're horrified. I'm like, what happened?
Well, I toned it down some, and I've restricted the bad words for when they're really necessary for the character, rather than just being gratuitous with it. But yeah.
Do you find that something does better in the British market and better in the American market or the Australian market or whatever?
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, because I think obviously they all have different sensibilities. So what grabs one person might not. I mean, you can see that with like musicians. Like it's a popular pop song in like Britain, but like the Americans could care less, or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I think we find that in Britain the BBC tends to ban things if they're particularly rude, but I think that just fuels the sales more.
Right. Well, I think, I don't know about in Britain, but I know in the US, if you ban stuff, it becomes a bestseller.
Right.
Like the minute, like I remember when, I remember particularly because I'm old, but I remember when NWA came on the scene with their Fuck the Police song. And, there was a lot of, right-wing people and NRA people and everything like protesting. That made that album a bestseller, like overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember one more thing. I remember, so they were talking to Motley Crue, and they said, "Oh, we have to put this label on your next album." It was a Pete Marcy label. It was like, and they asked Nicky Six, and he says, "Well, what does it say?" They said, "Well, it says offensive lyrics and all this." And he's like, "Put that on, put that on." That was their best-selling album.
Yeah. Well, I remember it a long time ago now, but Frankie Goes to Hollywood put Relax out, and the BBC banned it. And of course, it went straight to a number one, I think.
Well, of course, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
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 But I kind of feel like everybody's been shocked to this point. It's like, you don't just want a shock to sell it to you. You want like a good story.
Yeah, and I hope I've written a fun story at least. Yeah, it's not a Booker Prize winner.
Well, you don't know. I mean, you don't know where it goes. You know what's going to happen. I mean, it could be like in the next one you make some like giant political statement, and I'm just extrapolating.
Well,
who knows?
the plan, it's not. I'm not expecting to write great literature. Yeah, we'll leave that to a different kind of book, I think. But.
All right. So let me ask you two more questions before we go. One, if you had to compare it to something, and I know a lot of people hate to do this, I'm not saying you rip something off. I'm just saying what inspired you. So if you like this, you would like my stuff.
Well, I think it's different in the respect that the things that inspired me aren't necessarily the things that it's similar to. Like I was saying earlier, I think Back to the Future and the Dirk Gently novels. Those are really big inspirations for me.
What, there's no Barney McFly or like a Babblefish you put in your ear?
Yeah. But I think books that are, at least recent books that are similar. There's things like, say, everyone in my family has killed someone, I think it's called.
Yeah. I
Benjamin
don't know. I haven't heard
Stevenson.
of it. I heard a lot of horror.
It's
So.
kind of a funny, you kind of learn about the murders that have happened, so that, each of his family members, he's got quite a big family, and each of his family members has been responsible for somebody's death. And it's quite humorous and really quite intriguing.
Is it a good book? It's one you recommend?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely. There's another one, Rob Hart, I think it's The Paradox Hotel. Paradox Hotel. Paradox something. God, can't remember the title now. That one's kind of an intriguing time travel element where time travel is like a tourist industry. And that one has the kind of time travel element where the story is much more complicated and much more, the time travel is kind of a backdrop to that, and it's a very clever. I mean, it's really very clever the way they use time travel in that particular book. But that's an element that's similar. And then
what's the name of that book again?
I'm going to have to. Is it The Paradox Hotel? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused. The Paradox something. I'd have to look it up. It's gone. And the other one I think that we found when we were looking for comparable titles was the Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club series, just because it's a murder mystery and all the characters are kind of quirky. There's a lot of old people in the book. There's a lot of quirky characters, a little bit like the Thursday Murder Club.
Okay. And the other question I was going to ask is, if somebody really wants to keep up with your stuff, do you have a website? What are your social media links?
So my website is markjwilson.com.
Okay.
So if you know my name, then it should be easy enough to find. But yeah, don't forget the J. There's a lot of Mark Wilsons out there.
Okay.
So markjwilson.com. I plan to keep that up to date with what I'm doing next. And there's a means to contact me. And there's a few links there to some websites that are more to do with the characters and the book than just me. But there's a little bit of entertainment value there, I think.
Okay. Are you on Instagram or Twitter or Blue Sky or anything like that?
No, not as an author. I mean, I'm there, but yeah, I haven't been big on social media ever, really. I think on Instagram or Facebook, I have 6 friends. So
I think I've noticed, because I'm an author, that Facebook helps the most.
Right.
So Instagram seems to be more of that quick flash crowd, but on Facebook, people actually invest themselves.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for being on this. Do you have anything else you want to throw out there to the social sphere?
No, just the book comes out September 17th, and hopefully in a year's time, the sequel will be coming out.
Okay, will it be on Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on Kindle, and it'll be on paperback and hardback.
Kind of available at fine bookstores everywhere.
As far as I know, I'm still not sure how all that works, but yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. And do you have anything else you want to throw out?
Nothing I can think of. Just thanks very much for having me.